Okay, next we have maximum speed. So if you've got visitors over and you've got little children over in there, you're going to want to hand them the remote, which I don't know that you're going to do that with a $600 engine, but you hand them the remote and you can set the maximum speed so that way they don't try to run the engine up to, in this case, the maximum of 120 scale mile per hour, in which case you would probably launch your engine off the corner. You can dial it in to exactly how fast you want the engine to be able to go. Press select, and then it'll be saved. And the person operating this engine cannot get the engine to go over that speed. Acceleration rate. This is one that you can get the engine to accelerate slower, this is basically an electronic momentum, where you can basically turn this down to only accelerate at 1 scale mile per hour. So if I exit out, I get ready to start the engine moving. I'll dial it up. Starts moving. Now, when I try to make it dial it up to the speed, it takes a while to accelerate. Now, I change the acceleration rate to say 18 scale mile per hour per second. When I dial it up, okay, too fast there. Anyways, you get the point. Obviously, you see, you have to be careful with how you control your engine. Okay, the deceleration rate was 2 scale mile per hour per second, which is why the engine did not stop immediately. So you saw how slowly it stopped from its quick start. Now, if you turn this up, the engine will also stop as quickly as it was starting. See how fast it's moving? See how fast it stopped. Generally, obviously, that's going to be one of those things that's totally up to you as your personal preference. Get down about 6. And about 4. Direction control. This here, again, I think allows you to lock the direction into one or the other. Labored smoke. That whenever if you trigger the labor sound, it would start to emit thicker smoke to simulate that it's working harder. You can set that to auto or off if you want, depending on what you want. Smoke volume we've already reviewed, so we've been through all of the control features. System, engine setup. You can add an engine, delete an engine, or edit one. I hit the menu to go back. Track setup. This is one I have not had to use yet. You can edit and add tracks. Switch setup, again, I have not added any remote switches to this yet, so I don't know what all's involved with that one. Accessory setup, remote setup. You can actually use more than one remote on the system, and you can change the remote address. And you can reset a remote, which brings it back to factory settings. And you can trigger whether or not you want remote messages displayed. So if you trigger the interior light, you can actually have the whole screen blank out and say interior light on, interior light off. I generally keep the remote messages off to speed up the response of the system. TIU setup allows you to edit a TIU's address, add TIU. And there are some other features here, like Super TIU, which is when you're going to be using more than one TIU. Resetting a TIU to factory settings, and allows you to find out what the TIU firmware version is. LCD contrast, which allows you to change the contrast of the screen. Track signal, we've already seen that one. DCS setup allows you to control the individual ports on the TIU. you can select the fixed ports, and you can actually turn the power to the fixed ports on or off, or off. I guess it's auto on and auto off. Again, I have not used this feature at all. Okay, that's it for the controls. Excuse me, for the system menu. Let's go to advanced. You can, with this, you can create a lash up, where if you typically run multiple engines together, like I do here, I've got 3 big boys on the staging track here. You can actually create a lash up. You can add an engine. You can click add engine, and with all the engines that you have in the track, you'll be able to select all the engines that you want on the lash up. And in fact, let me back out here, and we're going to get these big boys started so you can see how that works.